Welcome to the summer series for the Tuck Shop Podcast, everybody. I'm Matt Cernell.
I'm Dave Janisak.
Hi, David.
Hello,
we
Matthew.
Are end of July already.
End of July.
This is cool. Kind of getting ready. Everyone's getting excited to be back. We got one more orientation, academic planning day.
Yeah.
But
and it's go time.
and we got them back in
time.
classrooms.
Yeah.
With a schedule that starts on a Monday.
There you go.
That I'm telling you.
But when
what,
does it
that's-
end? Hopefully it doesn't end on a Wednesday again.
No, it ends on a regular. It ends on a Friday too. It's
How
not
so?
one of these weird
my
Monday
goodness.
schedules that somebody came up with.
Yeah. Yeah, this is normal. Back to normal. Very
Even
cool.
the summer session was a Wednesday start.
Yeah, it just, well, yeah, there was,
But there was a big gap. I don't understand why they just couldn't have started the. I don't know.
you know what?
Whatever.
Above my pay grade.
It is.
They just tell me where to be and I'm there.
We talked a couple weeks ago about changing schedules if you're a deity. That would be another one I could do.
Yeah. This should be easier than moving
You would think
4th
so.
of July or not moving.
I also
moving.
always like that from the talk about schedule. It's not a big thing here, but especially like the public schools. I think they've even fixed it a little bit.
Yeah.
But back in my day, it was start on a Wednesday, do Wednesday, Thursday, short Friday, and then Monday was Labor Day.
Back in my day,
So it's just like, why start at all?
right, back in my day, young man, you never ever started school. Let me think. Let me get this right. You never started school till after Labor Day.
It was after Labor Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by I guess you still had to go after Memorial Day, but now,
yeah.
like, there are schools like they're in seriously not around here, but I read things. A month before Labor Day, these kids are hitting it.
Yeah.
Little kids. I mean, come on, be a
I don't
kid.
know if that's where I'd love to have Dr. Letney back on. Is that because he'd understand the school schedule better, having been a principal? But is that more time off, or there's building in windows for snow days? And
Again, and I'm not an educator. I wouldn't even call myself educated. But you wonder, like the early starts. Do they get a lot done, or is it it's hot? It's like well, a lot of buildings have air conditioning now, but how much do you get done? Like
no, actually, not all of them
oh,
do.
right, yeah.
Because I know of one of the faculty here in my department who has a child that has days off because of heat.
Because it's so hot.
Because they don't have.
Because their schools aren't supposed to be open in the summer.
Yeah, they never had air conditioning.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like
Too expensive to retrofit it. Yeah.
well, it's the old tour here when people would come around and is there air conditioning in the dorms and stuff?
Yeah.
And it's like no,
Why
but you
would-
won't need it
Yeah.
because after the first week of class you'll be fine.
Yeah, right.
Because then it snows for the rest of the.
Bring a fan and bring good snowshoes.
Yeah.
Shoes for snow.
Speaking of snow,
It'll be here.
it'll be here, which brings the holiday season around.
That
And I
is-
thought since we're closing
what
in
you
on
did
Christmas,
there. Nice.
that is a transition.
That
We call
was
that
good.
in the business.
Yeah.
Because that could have gone horribly wrong depending on how you want to take snow.
Yeah.
But
Is campus open? Is campus open?
is campus open? Am I having class? Do I have to come to class? My favorite story by that, by the way, is I was sitting with a faculty member
go there.
when I was here as a student, and they called the faculty member. I'm sitting with them. I can't make it to class. Oh, okay. It was snowing. To be fair, it was snowing pretty hard. And I wrote a note. Where do they live? Because I'm thinking, like, if I need to bail off campus and go home,
right.
like, I'll just skip my later class.
Sure,
and,
sure.
It's no big deal. I'm not going to risk getting in an accident or something. So they were generous enough. Where are you calling from? The LLC.
Yeah, from the hallway.
It was the LLC.
Oh, that's
so
so fun.
this poor girl had to come to class and sit in the front row for the rest because I wanted to know how bad the roads were, thinking she was coming from Somerset
Coulda-
or
Could have been
Evansburg
frozen
or
eyeballs.
something. No.
We're not going to go there.
Anyway, speaking of, but you think of snow, you think of winter season, you think of Christmas, and for our Christmas in July celebration, we had to go back to the episode with Mark Stevens, our resident professional Santa Claus in the Alumni Association.
And that guy, he's Santa. He's Santa.
He is.
Like there's no off with this guy. He's, he'll send me, among other things, emails about the new suit that he just got. And I'm
Yep.
like, Mark, that's fascinating.
I meant to ask him, and I had to try to remember, like, why not just grow the beard?
I don't know, because he gets kind of freaky when he talks about beards made out of human hair. And then I'm like, wasn't a big Santa fan to begin with.
It's now getting a
You're
little
not
more
selling
disturbing.
it. You're not selling it.
I think it's really cool.
It is
and
cool.
how he gets with
Yeah.
and he connects with those kids, and that's a special skill set that
Absolutely.
to have that and be able to do that.
Absolutely, man. Connecting with kids.
So I think it's pretty neat, and I thought that Christmas in July wouldn't be complete without
cool you
hearing
down.
from Mark and how he got into this and what it really
It's
does mean to
interesting.
him. And maybe if you need him, you might be able to
There you
book
go.
him
If
for your upcoming Christmas season.
Or Christmas in July.
Or
He's got the suit ready.
God, it has to be hot in July if they have him. If he does that,
He's got to have some. I don't know.
Well, can't you always do the Hawaiian shirt Christmas?
Dude,
Santa
he's the he's the
Santa on
expert.
break.
He's the
I
expert.
don't know, but anyway, it's really a great interview, and I think we'll cut over to Mark. This week we are joined by another great alum, Mark Stevens. Mark, thanks for coming and sitting down and talking to us today here a little bit.
Hey, thanks for having me on here, Matt. It's good to be here at my old stomping grounds, UPJ.
What class did you graduate?
I graduated in 2014.
2014. Because you and I had not much overlap, but we have board overlap.
Not too much.
No, actually, we didn't have any overlap as students, but
Right.
have worked on projects and so forth for a number of years together.
Maybe some political campaigns. How about it, Matt?
On one side or the other. But that's always fun. What was your major?
I double majored in political science and communication.
Why?
Why? Well, I did that because political science really doesn't guarantee you anything, to be honest with you.
I know.
It does not guarantee you anything. Like, you cannot become a teacher with a political science degree. You cannot just run for office and say, hey, I have a political science degree. You need to hire me. No, I added on communication because I was taking enough political science or communication classes. So I just added on the communication major to at least expand my job perspectives, I guess you would say. And it actually turned out very well for me because, not only did I gain more education in working for political campaigns, but also having several office jobs, and the job I have right now being a support coordinator for those with intellectual disabilities.
Oh, that has to be rewarding.
It is. It is.
What led you to Pitt Johnstown originally?
Well, my sister, she went to Penn State. And
So no Christmas gifts for her.
Absolutely. Well, I kind of have to. Just
I kid.
Yeah. She, of course, was pushing the Penn State, and, I just was never agreed with her, so I was pushing more for the Pitt. And I honestly only put in for two colleges. I put in for St. Vincent and UPJ. And it was a bit of a toss-up, but in the end, I'm glad I made the right choice and went to Pitt Johnstown.
That's a theme that we hear a lot as we do these interviews. What kind of things were you involved here when you were a student? People may know if they think I know the name.
What wasn't I involved with besides classes? All seriousness, I was the founding president of the Pitt Johnstown College Democrats. I was involved with student government. I was involved in Sigma Tau Gamma. That was my fraternity. I was involved in Circle K, which is a community service organization here. I was involved with the Real World Interest Group, and I helped give freshmen mentor positions, internships. I scheduled field trips for them to go on to, and it was a nice program we had here at UPJ, Real World Action Program.
That's neat. We often talk about with our folks that are gracious enough with their time to come and sit with us. What advice? Because you actually were doing that. What would you tell students, freshmen, new students, any student that is listening or potentially finds this, or what kind of things would back then you tell them and give them advice? And has that changed? To what? Looking back now, better part of a decade later.
Looking back, I'm really not sure because I've heard they've got rid of that real world interest program, so that's no longer there. But any resources you have to connect with alumni, go for it. We're out there to help lead those in the right direction, whether they are teachers, political science majors, communication majors, engineers, former retired politicians. You got it. We're there.
I think that's a great point that we're always there's always
pushing
alumni.
For the alumni.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the big reasons that I wanted to invite you here today, as well as based on the timing here that we're talking, we're only a couple weeks away from the big day, and
That's
you
right.
happen to be wearing. Do you want to describe what you're wearing right now?
I am right now wearing a Santa Claus hat.
And why?
Why? Well, I am also a professional Santa.
Okay. I don't remember that class in my list of potential options for when I was taking gen ed requirements.
They don't offer that here at UPJ, unfortunately, but there's actually pictures on my Facebook page of me with the UPJ Mountain Cat for Breakfast with Santa, probably back in 2009, 2010.
So this has been a long-term thing, and when let's explain a little bit more. This isn't just something that you did around campus. You do this. It's not even. I don't want to say it's a job. You have a passion.
So I'm 32 years old, but I've actually been playing Santa since I was 8. So for my first Holy Communion, my aunt actually sewed me my first suit. And, it's because I believed in Santa Claus so much, I thought I could actually be Santa. So for my first Holy Communion, my aunt actually sewed me my first suit. And my grandfather was the president of the Senior Citizens Club in Patton. That's where I'm from. And every year, I would go to their Christmas parties, dressed as Santa, and I would, come in, bring them their calendars, their candy, and whatnot. And, these old senior citizens, they tip me, Matt. They would tip me like about $25 here, $30 there. And, you're 8 years old. You're making $25, $30. You're thinking, huh.
You're rolling in it.
You're rolling
That
in it. I'm
age,
going to
yeah.
come back for more and more and more. So obviously, I was 8 years old. I grew out of that suit and got another one from Walmart and then Target and then just word of mouth spreads and it gets to it got to the Red Hat Club. They had me go to their party and then I went to I was Santa for a girls' dance studio in Northern Cambria. They had Santa dance the Hokey Pokey and the chicken dance, and let me tell you, I was sweating bullets after that. And the Patton Slovak Club, I did it for them, and like I said, it just kept growing, and obviously the suit just kept getting better and better, and word of mouth kept going, and of course, I mentioned we had to name something unique about ourselves here at UPJ, and our university scholarship class, and Sherry Ray was my advisor there, and she was the one who set me up with being Santa for Breakfast with Santa here at UPJ those 2 years. And then, like I said, it just kept growing and growing. And, I currently play Santa now for Everett Railroad, Leanne Stefan Photography in Hollidaysburg. I do personal house visits, clients' Christmas tree farm, you name it.
Wow. And so this kind of grew from that youthful
Just
sense of belief.
Sense of belief. And, when I was in high school, we had the skills students in our high school, and our student council, I was active in our student council, and we thought it would be a nice thing to do was to have me dress as Santa and have the student council officers buy Christmas presents for the skills students. And we had the chorale actually come in and sing, "Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus." So, they're singing, "Here comes Santa Claus," and here comes, me, Santa Mark, here just coming down, giving the presents to the skills students. And, that was a tradition we did at Cambria Heights probably for about 9 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What I typically would go down a path of like, what's a cool memory from it? But I can't imagine there isn't a year or an event that you don't think back on and saying.
Seeing the smile on people's faces, like the skills students, or, nowadays, just, simple kids' faces, the innocence of, just spreading the joy. These kids aren't thinking about bills nowadays. They're not thinking about, wars going on. Although, for one, I did have a letter to Santa already. Letter to Santa asked me if I could end the war overseas. And, there's just some things you can't do, and you have to tell them, that's out of my control. I saw we had a letter here. This note BS from Dave. He's asking if any student or any kid has ever peed on my lap. I'm gonna have to say no. I didn't have any kid pee on my lap, but I will say I have had a kid fart on my lap while I was at the dance studio. We got up for a group picture, and I felt a little vibration, and just. She turned up and looked at me, and she said, "I'm sorry, Santa." And that was just a one in a lifetime experience.
That leads me to an oddly enough, an interesting question, and I'm going to then later reprimand David. I am so glad I have this team to help me with this project. What does the communication degree help you with any of this? And I'm especially thinking, is there anything that you picked up or just through natural occurrence? Because there has to be times where there's somebody who's eagerly excited to be there and then realize, "Oh, I'm a little afraid of Santa."
Well, kids that are ages usually 2 to 4, it's usually a hard pass now. Those kids are petrified.
Yeah.
Except for my daughter. She did pretty well with Santa this year. She must know him pretty well.
She's about 4 now, I think. Well,
Two and a half.
2.5. 2.5. That's it. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was longer than that.
2.5.
Did the communication stuff help at all, no matter what the age or with the people? Did that give you any insight into how to better connect with people?
I would say the communication degree has definitely helped me for the job I have now. It's, being able to conduct yourself in a professional manner. And I don't mean for being Santa, but like as a support coordinator
the
for
day
those,
job.
Yeah, the full-time job. Being paid for, conducting meetings and, organizing meetings and emailing people day in, day out. You got to have good communication skills. And shout out to my professors here.
Anyone stand out?
Majaka, Professor Majaka, who's no longer here. I think she's in Nebraska right now.
I believe so.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor Majaka, if you're listening.
That is really neat, and that's been another recurring theme that people remember those types of things. When you think about your time here, both let's limit it to students, since you have been a very valuable part of the alumni community you've done 2 stints now,
Right.
with the board. Well, you're on your second. We may never let you leave. If you had to pick a favorite memory as a student, is it the times as Santa?
Careful for what you're asking here, Matt.
Based on thank you, David.
Well, I lost
What's the
shoe
favorite
at my
memory?
first frat party.
You lost it.
I would say there's just so many memories here at UPJ, the good and the bad. I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Yeah.
Those, going here for homecoming, you see where this all took place, where I worked night shift here at the Blackington. I had the Sunday evening shift.
In the computer lab.
Yeah, that was quite interesting. But your memories with your friends, your college days are unforgettable. Just for the sake of everything, I'm just gonna say, anybody out there listening, if you're a student, cherish your days here on campus, make memories, go out there, have fun, because when you graduate, you're out there in the real world.
It is a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Mark, I want to
we'll put that in professional as we could be.
there you go. Thank you. I do appreciate it as someone who has to be here tomorrow to work. Mark, thank you for taking some time with us.
Hey, thanks for having
today.
me on here,
Is there
Matt.
anything Santa wants to leave us with?
Boy, like I said, cherish your current students out here at UPJ. Cherish your time here and enjoy it. Study hard, and you know what? Enjoy it while you can, because when you graduate, that's it.
Yeah.
That's
If
pretty
people
much
want to
it.
learn more about the Santa
And if
part of it,
anybody wants to, follow up on the Santa gig, I do have a Facebook page, Santa Mark, on Facebook.
Mark, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
The Tuck Shop podcast is recorded live on the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown campus. Update your contact information with us by visiting johnstown.pitt.edu/alumni. Connect with us online via Facebook and LinkedIn, or consider donating to the university at give2, that's giveto.pitt.edu/giveupj.
This has been a production of Quantum Wave Media. Views expressed do not necessarily reflect the opinion of the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown.